Hi, hey, hello. We're out here in the sun, as always. Just sketching, just doing some sketching at sunset. You know, I think I'm gonna create a new motto for myself. When in doubt, when in all the thoughts, go draw the trees. Go get outside and draw the trees. That's what I'm gonna do. Nice night, soaking up the last of the Texas, not incredibly hot season. So this little loop, this is a loop at a place near my house, has been kind of my savior this spring. I go for a walk around the loop, I stop, I draw, I look at stuff, I look at how the season is changing, and it rejuvenates me. Okay, so listen, you guys might be in the same position in my car, but this time we've got the top open. Yeah. Okay, now it's not so exciting because we're back in the parking garage. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. Let's do some drawing. Hey, okay, so let's talk about these pages that I was working on. I'm outside, clearly, and I'm still not very comfortable having others watch me talk to my phone. So I want to talk to you about these Skip and Viv pages. I have been trying to find my way with these two characters, okay? And for the longest, I thought that I was a picture book illustrator. I still feel like I fit in that world, but these two characters revealed themselves to me over time, over my visual development of them, as maybe not fitting into the picture book world. I really started to see them in a graphic novel. So, you have been seeing these images, and this is me like playing with putting them in different scenes around this concept of like throwing a water balloon at a cat, right? And just trying to like experiment with composition and how I can like tell that story without just showing the moment in which the cat is hit by a water balloon, right? How do I evoke certain emotion around that moment, before, after, during, playing with the timeline and playing with, just playing with the storytelling of it all. And my lovely critique group helped me to see some stuff that I needed to work on with values and layout. And so I began with these thumbnails, and then I thought that I was going to just make them into individual small paintings with gouache, which I did. And so that's what you're seeing here, is you're seeing the gouache paintings that I did, which I really liked. I really liked how these turned out. I like the color palette. I just love painting in gouache. You get this bright, vibrant feel, and you also get a matte finish. It's just a wonderful medium. I'm definitely not abandoning gouache as a means of painting, but I don't know that it is what I will use for this project. After I made these paintings, I had to figure out how to put them on a page, and I think that that's a good exercise. I think for me as an illustrator, I can just end up making the illustrations and then leaving it there, and I think it's a really good test to then try to lay those out in a book format, like on a page, as if you were going to, print this 2-page spread side by side, and see how that plays out. And so I tried that in these two different ways, and it wasn't working. something was missing. It felt clunky. These boxes felt like a little bit too disconnected from each other. And so, again, I showed my lovely critique group. Am I bright enough? Am I in shadow? I showed my lovely critique group, and they were like, you need to lay this out in like it's a graphic novel. And so I started to like try to understand what that would look like. Oh, we're just out here in public, laying down on a bench. Golly. Okay, so I started to lay that out, right? And I realized like this is it. Like, I can do a lot with this. I can overlay things. I can still keep my thumbnailing process where the boxes are separate and do that first. But then I can take it one step further and treat it like a graphic novel page. And like, I have some graphic novels at home. The Lightfall series, whew, amazing. Go get it. Go read it if you haven't. I will link to that. Tim Probert, I forget his last name, but amazing, like just incredible work. So I do pull from that. You know, I'll crack open those graphic novels and be like, you know, just flip through some pages that I think are really well done and try to see like, how could I do this with this story that I'm telling? How can I position, you know, a box on top of a painting, and then, you know, overlay their figures on top of that, and basically how can I lay out a graphic novel page. And it, man alive, the finished work of this, I'm pretty thrilled, I'm pretty pumped, and now I've got this way forward with this project that I think is going to work out. The only thing is that I'm going to stick to it, and admitting that I am holding myself accountable to creating a graphic novel is actually pretty freaking terrifying, because it is so much work. You know, 32 pages of a picture book is so much work, much less a fracking graphic novel. So I'm struggling with that. I won't lie about that. But I'm pumped. I'm really excited about this. I think that this, I mean, I always feel like the current project I'm working on is my best work yet, but I do really feel that way about this one. There's stories from my childhood, there's a personal connection. I'm coming back to watercolor, my way of working in watercolor, which is to use, thought I heard somebody, which is to use Neocolor Crayons. And I just use them in my sketchbooks, and then when they get a little bit dull, I sharpen them and I collect the shavings and I make my own unique watercolors. And so that is what you see on these pages. So I'm using that approach, and doing that allows me to block in some shadows and get the values a little bit more right, whatever that means. It just, you know, just to separate planes a little and really like be able to block in some values first is gonna be necessary, because that is what I struggle with. I struggle with values so hard. I'm just a color lover. I love color. I feel like that's all of us illustrators out here, just loving to play with color. And anyway, thank you for listening to this. Thank you for hearing me blab. I hope you like coming out here and being on all these nature walks in Texas and looking at the art things and all the projects. Sorry we didn't do the drawing, but you know, you're seeing the drawings that have been done recently. Ooh, it's hot. The heat is back. I think I gotta get out of the sun. Okay, bye. Oh, bye now. Bye.